So today we're going to be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are on part 41 of this series. Let's go ahead and get on with it. First thing we have happening is Daily Britain update. And yeah, that's not very good for England, as Cornwall plus Wales breaks away from England and, well, forms its own country against England, which isn't going to be very fun for England, but rest of everything hates them. Only Scotland is friendly with Ireland. That's the only friendliness on this this island or islands, more like. But yeah, that's kind of what happens, and see how that goes later on in the video. The next thing we have happening is the old empires, not the old empire, the purple team's invasion of North Italy. Why North Italy is because, well, they're right here and right here. They can't really. Now, yes, they can like do that. Um, they can do that, but like it's easier to go like this than it is to go like this. Technically, like if you don't have a boat, that makes sense. So yeah, yeah, the invasion is going to be very swift as the purple team is very, very powerful. And what we have happening is the the purple team. I keep almost saying the old empire. Purple team immediately taking 5 major cities and taking another 3 as they move up the Italian boot. And even start moving into this area and from this direction into Italy, and they take the capital, and Italy falls. So let's go ahead and look at this peace treaty. Well, that just that just expanded. Now the old empire is becoming even larger as they've taken over a lot of countries in the recent episodes, but they don't care. They are the team. They're going to keep doing what they're doing until they collapse, which that's kind of what every empire does. Also, if I don't talk as much, it's because my throat is a bit sore right now. So, and if my voice sounds different, that's why. So yeah, just keep in mind of that. But the next thing we have happening is the American invasion of the Bahamas. Why the Bahamas? Because they can. So American troops just it's not. I don't even have to cut the video for this. Like you already know. You already know. But yeah, that's just a little bit bigger for the United States as well. Actually, America in this timeline. They're not called the United States. Hawaii is just chilling. Um, over there. A lot of countries um don't really see this as threatening from America because it it it's the Bahamas. They're tiny. Like seriously, do you think this will be able to defend themselves that well? If you said no, then you are correct. Even if they had Florida, they wouldn't really be able to defend themselves from America. So yeah. Um, next thing we have happening is a African war. Basically, what happens is Morocco declares war on Algeria. Why Algeria? You'll get to see in a second. Oh, I'm not gonna say why I keep saying why after everything. I don't know, but yeah, they're gonna go ahead and invade Algeria for just land, but this isn't really that valuable of land. But the issue with that is these guys don't really like that. Like Nigeria, um, Ivory Coast. Do I remember these guys? Liberia and I don't and they're going to invade into Morocco. They're going to take back some land from Algeria and start invading into Morocco. Now, why did they join this? Well, because Morocco is very large. Um, yeah, they own all of Mauritania, all of Morocco, plus Western Sahara, and some of Guinea-Bissau and Guinea. So I guess this would be Guinea. I think. Hmm, I might be wrong. But the Moroccans are going to kind of like reorganize the troops. They're gonna kind of get rid of some troops of this area, which lets Algeria push back a little bit. And yeah, they push them out of their territory and go and start going into their territory, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of the war. Um, these guys are going to all fall. Now Nigeria is going to start being invaded, but not necessarily like going to fall. But yeah, these guys are too weak. The Moroccans are going to push out from their invaded lands and take the capital of Algeria, which kind of hurts Algeria for a while, and take the major city of Algeria, which they're gonna surrender, and they kind of push out from Algeria, push more into Nigeria, start spearheading towards the major city of Nigeria, which they take. Nigeria is starting to get slapped around in this war. Oops, starting to get slapped around in this war, and they spearhead and take that major city. And yeah, it's not looking very good for Nigeria, so they surrender before they can get fully invaded. Let's go ahead and look at this peace treaty. That's a big Morocco. So now Western Africa is essentially just Morocco now, and yeah, they just ate half of Nigeria, Guinea, Liberia, Algeria, and the Ivory Coast, and yeah, that's just great. Morocco might be a top 10 power, but not yet. They're not a top 10, but they're very, very close to being a top 10 power. They're like 12, I want to say. So at this point. So they're not gonna really invade anything else for a while because they gotta stabilize this land. We're already seeing some forms of rebellions in the newly annexed territories because like their new territories they like doubled their size. Most of this land isn't that valuable. Like all of this kind of land is not very valuable. Maybe even a little bit more than that. Maybe like here is not very valuable because that's all the desert. It's all desert. Down here isn't desert though. So anything we like Southern Africa that isn't this isn't desert either. The only part of Africa that is desert is here. That's desert. Um. So yeah, that's for reference of what that is. So let's go ahead and get on to our next event, which is the Mexican Civil War. So the first thing we have happening in the Mexican Civil War is Nicaragua plus Costa Rica breaking away. I think that's how you say it, Nicaragua. That sounds like I'm saying the N word. That's kind of sounds like that. Um, but I'm not. And we have Honduras plus El Salvador. And yeah, that's kind of not very fun for Mexico, as they just lost some land. But what's even worse for them is Guatemala breaking away from Mexico, which in this universe Guatemala is a lot bigger. Mexico is probably not very good in not very good in this world anymore. It's not very good economically as much, because they lost a lot of land. Um, Yeah. The next thing we have happening is, well, not very fun for Russia, that is. We have a big Russia civil war. Now, what's gonna happen in the Russian civil war is no, that's not the right color. Is Estonia breaking like all of these areas, like Ukraine, like a lot of areas from Russia. This giant Western rebellion, um, from Russia that kind of looks like purple team occupied areas. I might make it a little bluey kind of thing. Now Russia is able to push back in some areas, but in others it is stalemated. As yeah, this is just a very, very, very like powerful rebellion, I want to say, as Russia is almost completely blocked off from their like warm sea areas. Actually, maybe they are. Like this is pretty cold. It's too cold. Seeing that all this appears too cold. I guess the only place that isn't like too cold is like over here, but we can only maybe go through there like in the summer, maybe. Um, maybe even like less than that, because like this is really, really, really cold. Even in the Baltic Sea, even the southern Baltic Sea is really cold. Um, well, not that cold, but it's cold. But yeah. Next thing we have breaking off from Russia is Siberia. Yeah, Siberia is gonna go ahead and break away from Russia. This is half of Russia. That's not very good for Russia anymore. You know what? I might just delete this. To be honest, like this is not. Just gonna go ahead and like delete this part of Russia because for some reason it's like that. Why? But yeah, it's deleted from the map. Go ahead and delete some of these Alaskan areas. So yeah, same thing with like some of these islands out here. I don't really half of them like aren't even like used. Like they're not very significant. What I'm saying. Um, so yeah, just everything I wouldn't really want on this map is now gone. So yeah, basically it just like goes. It basically goes like that. Actually, I could just outline that. I could like do this. So like, it goes like that or something. But it looks very poor. I'm not very good at like doing that kind of stuff, so I'm not. But yeah, that's not very good for Russia as they're backed into a corner. However, this is the end of the video. Like, no, no, it's not. Well, it's almost, but we just need to go through a few things and or like one thing is the rest of the Russian Civil War. Then we can end the video. Um, the next thing that's happening, I keep the same thing, the same thing. I um. Yeah, the next thing that's happening is this like central Russian rebellion, I want to say. Um, yeah, Russia is cooked. Um, but what they do, they are able to push this rebellion back a lot. I want to, well, not a lot, not necessarily like a bunch, but enough to where they can actually like survive on their own a little bit longer. Um, like push all the way back. push a little bit of Siberia back, and not that much because no one really wants to invade this. Um, but yeah, Russia is probably gonna be able to push back this like Western rebellion. So that's probably how that's gonna look. So this is Russia now. They lost a lot of land. They had like a lot more land than this. Like they used to at least. They had all of this. Like you saw early the episode, right? Right, right. So yeah, that's a lot more less. That's a lot less land. I feel like Russia would be cooked if a civil war broke out, or not a civil war, a World War IV broke out, which might actually happen in the next two episodes. Let's go ahead and yeah, this is the end of the video, I guess. But bye.